Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. Now, if you watch Southland, they're going into their fourth season, and Lucy Liu is going to be joining them, and I have a chance to talk to Lucy Liu and Michael Cudlitz. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining us. If I can start with you, Michael, give us the premise of Southland. What's the purpose and what you guys try to portray for us on TV?
Basically, the idea behind Southland is that you're following officers in the Los Angeles Police Department, but you're following them from a more personal aspect, more than a crime-solving sort of aspect. We see how the crimes affect the officers and emotionally, and how those emotions affect how the officers handle the crime. I have been a training officer for the last 3 years. I've had back issues, and consequently through those back issues, drug issues with painkillers. I'm now clean, I'm now physically fit, and I'm now in a car with Lucy. And we are 2 seasoned officers, and we're going to see what we're going to do to Los Angeles.
Lucy, you're coming in, as he says, as a seasoned officer. Welcome to the show. I'm sure they've told you that. What are you going to bring to the show for us? Because we think you're so glamorous and beautiful. Tell me what you're going to bring as an officer.
There's not a lot of glamour in her character. I think it's just, she's pretty straightforward. She's very tough. She has damage of her own, which is revealed at the end of episode 1. And you kind of see where she's coming from, and you know, you wonder, I think, as the audience member, where is she going after what has happened to her? And what is her relationship with Michael going to turn into, you know? I think that you see very clearly that they have a good relationship, but she's there to see if he's ready to be back on the streets. And in turn, you really discover kind of where they are going as officers and where they want to be. I mean, how long is she going to stay? How long is he going to stay on the job? I mean, what's going to happen to them? What kind of you know, what kind of people are they going to interact with on the street, and where is that going to bring them in their careers and in their personal lives as well?
Lucy, this is in L.A., so is there any physicality to the role that you will be playing? You know, meaning other than just being an officer, will you engage with criminals and things like that on a physical level?
Absolutely. We engage with people in every single episode, and I have the scars to prove it. Yes, I have all the, you know, different episodes on my arm, like you know, one of those rings in the trees. How they age. Well, I have episode 1, I have episode 2, I have all the episodes on my body.
I think we all have those.
We have, you know, we have scars. We have real, you know, information about how we've worked that day and what we've done that day. You can come home and say, oh my God, look at me. Like what? And you know, somebody said, you know, you shouldn't be wearing black tights. You're in Los Angeles. It looks a little bit heavy for that outfit. I'm like, if I took these tights off, you would think that I was abused, so I cannot take them off. You know, it's a real show, and you really have to get down and throw yourself into it, you know, literally.
Michael, let me ask you, because it is set in L.A., what's different about a show that's set in L.A. than maybe Chicago or New York about police drama?
Well, I think the difference in policing a city like Los Angeles as opposed to Chicago or New York is the openness of it. There's a lot of space to be covered by not a lot of officers. In New York and Chicago, that, you know, not saying that that's more hard or, you know, more difficult or less difficult. In New York or Chicago, you have much the opposite, where everything is condensed and everybody's on top of each other, so everything is much more claustrophobic. In Los Angeles, everything is, you know, open, and that has its own problems. You know, the wonderful thing about our show is we do shoot 99% of it on location in and around Los Angeles. So Los Angeles really is, you know, the silent character in the show. The whole experience has been just fantastic, and sort of introduced me to areas of the city I've never seen before, and never would have seen had it not been for the show.
Well, now you got just a great mix of characters to work with. You've got Lucy, you've got Regina King, who I really admire how she's coming to this police drama. You've got Ben McKenzie, Sean Hotze. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. You guys are a very blended cast now. Mm-hmm. How do you guys think you're going to work together? Because you're doing very well.
It seems fairly seamless. What they have us doing is, since we're partnered off, I mean, unfortunately, we rarely get to see each other. Maybe we see each other in passing. But we saw each other a great deal in training before we started filming, and that was really fun to to sort of bond that way and shoot off a bunch of guns and I don't know, run around and do some evasive driving, and that was a really fun way to start off the show. But we really are, Michael and I are really together most of the time, and I have had a couple of scenes on my own, and when he's not around, I feel a little bit odd and something is missing. Something really big is missing.
Something is missing.
Something tall and blonde is missing. And you feel that. You feel really connected. And I think that's supposed to be, that's how people feel when they're in the car with their partners. Yeah. You feel like there's somebody always who has your back.
You spend more time with your partner, statistically, you spend more time with your partner than you do with anyone else in your life.
When can we watch Southland, Michael?
Tuesdays at 10 p.m. on TNT.
Lucy, one more question. I know you're doing Southland. You doing anything else?
Well, I have a bunch of press coming up in March. I have about, I think, 2 or 3 movies coming out. So that'll be exciting, and maybe we'll talk about that then.
Always busy. I want to thank you guys for joining us and giving us a sneak peek into Southland. We will be watching. Thank you so much for being on the Valder Beebe Show.
Thank you very much.